Welcome to the Dementia-Friendly Business Training for Faith-Based Communities. This training is provided by Age Guide Northeastern Illinois. The objectives for today's training are to review dementia, discuss how to educate faith-based communities, describe how to support caregivers and families, and to explore responses, strategies, and practices for being a dementia friend. To begin, let's just review some background knowledge about dementia. You should have already learned this in the training module for understanding the basics. Remember that dementia is just a general umbrella term for disorders that are defined as long, degenerative diseases resulting in chronic impairment of the brain's mental process. It affects things such as memory, thinking, decision-making, and one's ability to perform everyday activities. Within the dementia category of diseases, there are more specific names used to define these different types of dementia. The top 4 most common types of dementia, in order from most common to least, are Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, and frontotemporal dementia. The last type of dementia on the list is mixed dementia, which is exactly what it sounds like. It occurs when a person has more than one type of dementia. Again, you should have already seen this slide in the previous module. Just to review, symptoms and signs of dementia can differ depending on the type of dementia. However, some common signs and symptoms include communication difficulties, wandering, losing things, frustrations, repetition, poor judgment, unacceptable behavior, and confusion. Despite these symptoms, a person with dementia is a valuable contribution to their community, and they are still a person. The disease does not diminish that. Within faith-based communities, a very effective dementia-friendly strategy is education. Bringing knowledge and awareness to those in the faith-based communities challenges the stigma of dementia and addresses common misunderstandings. A great example of educating congregates is to invite a person with dementia or their caregiver to speak about their experiences. This helps people with dementia feel valued and loved. In addition to educating congregates, it is also important to teach as well. Give them ideas of how to support people with dementia and/or strategies for interacting with those living with dementia. Now, we are just going to pivot our lens just a little, because for every person living with dementia, a range of 10 to 12 additional people are affected. Included in that 10 to 12 are most certainly the caregivers and the family members of those with dementia. Caring for a person with dementia can be very difficult. With that said, it is important to encourage congregates to do all they can to support caregivers and family members. Congregates can do this by knowing how to recognize signs of caregiver stress and burnout, encouraging caregivers to care for themselves, offering support frequently, such as respite services or referrals to other resources, and by extension, encouraging caregivers to access those supports. Lastly, congregates could also form support groups for their caregivers and their care recipients. On this slide is a list of some best practices. All of these can be easily implemented within your faith-based communities. The first is to have staff wear name tags with large fonts so people with dementia can easily read them. The next one is to organize meaningful activities that engage the senses, such as activities with music. It is also important to be attuned to the spiritual needs and beliefs of those living with dementia, because sometimes their needs and beliefs can differ compared to the general public. Similarly, it is important for our faith leaders to offer empathetic support. Faith-based communities should also consider holding shorter services, specifically intended for people with dementia, because of their short attention spans, or even to accommodate busy caregiver schedules. Lastly, faith-based communities should continually work to accept and value those living with dementia, regardless of their cognitive abilities. Here, we have some additional best practices that are specifically in regards to the environment. It is critical to create a physical environment that is inclusive towards people with dementia. The best way to do that is to ensure that the space is always accessible. Examples of this can be using ramps instead of stairs, providing enough space in between and within rows or pews, displaying signs and navigation cues, making sure there is ample, bright lighting, and non-slippery floors. As you complete this training module, I encourage you all to view the additional resources in the PDF download on the Age Guide Learning Center or in the description below if you are watching on YouTube. These resources will aid you and your business in your efforts towards the dementia-friendly initiative. Please feel free to download, print, keep, and share the handouts. Thank you for your commitment and conscious effort in caring for people living with dementia in the communities that you serve. Upon completion, a follow-up letter, certificate, and dementia-friendly window cling can be provided to your business. Please share this training far and wide to the other colleagues and other organizations in your network.